Good morning and welcome to the Daily Light Devotion. I hope all of you have had a wonderful Thursday and looking forward to today. That is the first day of May. And I bless that you all, each one of you, that you'll have a wonderful month of May. Today we're going to start a new book in the Old Testament. That is the book of First Kings, and we're going to look at chapter 1 and 2. And in the Old Testament, we will be looking at Luke chapter 22. We'll be continuing verses 54 to 71. First Kings chapter 1 and 2, the theme is God's chosen king, fulfilled promises, and righteous rule. And in these two chapters, we witness a major transition. King David's life is coming to an end. A new king must take the throne. There is tension, confusion, competing claims, but in the end, God's chosen kings, Solomon, is established. These chapters remind us God's plan will stand and his promises will be fulfilled, right? The first chapter of First Kings, we see that Adonijah, David's son, tries to make himself king. He gathers support, he hosts a public celebration, but he does this without God's approval. Meanwhile, Nathan, the prophet, and Bathsheba act wisely. They remind David of God's promise. David responds, Solomon is the anointed as the king. He is publicly declared and established. Adonijah plans collapse. So this shows a powerful truth. A human ambition cannot override God's will. Right, Jesus reflects this. He is the true king, not self-appointed, but chosen by God. God's chosen king will always prevail, no matter the opposition. Right. Second Kings, chapter second. Sorry, First Kings chapter 2. Before David dies, he gives the final instruction: Solomon, walk in obedience to God, keep his commands, rule with wisdom and justice. As Solomon begins his reign, he deals with the unfinished matters. He establishes order and justice in the kingdom. This includes rewarding faithfulness, addressing rebellion and wrongdoing. And Solomon points us to Jesus, a king who rules with wisdom, a king with established justice. But Jesus is greater. His kingdom is eternal. His rule is perfectly righteous. God's kingdom is built on righteousness, not compromise. So the key takeaways from these two chapters is God's promise will always be fulfilled. Self-promotion leads to downfall, but God's calling brings stability. True leadership requires obedience to God, and justice is essential in establishing a strong foundation. Moving over to the New Testament, Luke chapter 22, verses 54 to 71, the theme is faithfulness under pressure, failure, and restoration, and the true identity of Jesus. In Luke chapter 22, verses 54 to 75, Jesus is arrested and taken to trial. At the same time, Peter faces pressure and denies Jesus. Religious leaders question and accuse him. This passages reveal two powerful realities: human weakness and Jesus' unshakable truth. Verses 54 to 62, Peter follows Jesus at a distance, and as he sits among the others, he is recognized. Three times he is accused of being with Jesus, and three times he denies it. And then the rooster crows. At that moment, Jesus turns and looks at Peter. Peter remembers Jesus' words and breaks down, weeping bitterly. Even in Peter's failure, Jesus has already predicted it. He had already prayed for him, and that look from Jesus wasn't just correction; it was His grace. We may fail, but Jesus does not give up on us, right? Verses 63 to 65, the guards mock Jesus, they beat him, blindfold him, ridicule him, yet Jesus does not retaliate. He remains silent and composed. This shows incredible strength, not weakness, but controlled power, not defeat, but purposeful endurance. True strength is not in reacting, but in trusting God under pressure. Verses 66 to 71, Jesus is brought before the religious leaders. They question him, are you the Messiah? Jesus answers carefully, but Clearly, he refers to himself as the Son of Man, who will be seated at the right hand of God. They press further, "Are you the Son of God?" Jesus responds, "You said that I am." Even in trial, Jesus does not deny who he is. He stands firm in truth. Jesus is the true King and Son of God. No accusation can change that. Right? What are some of the key takeaways? Even strong believers can fail under pressure. Jesus responds to our failures with grace and restoration. True strength is shown in calm endurance, and Jesus' identity as King and Son of God stands firm forever. So, Luke chapter 22, verses 54 to 75 ask us, how do we respond under pressure? Do we stand firm or step back? Like Peter, we may stumble, but like Jesus, we are called to stand in truth. The good news is that Jesus does not reject us when we fail, He restores us. We need to stay close to Him, stand from Him, and trust His grace to carry us through. I hope this encouraged you. Have a wonderful first day of May. I'll see you tomorrow. God bless you.